Hello and welcome back to how to counter Jormungandr in For Honor. So today we're going to be picking up where we left off before, which is Highlander, and we're just going to continue. We're going to go through the rest of the Vikings, and then we're going to go to up to Shigoki. So yeah, let's do this. So, Highlander. What do you want to be doing with Highlander against Jormungandr? Well, basically the same that you do with every single other opponent as Highlander. Your main objective is get into fucking offense, and then once you're in it, do your shit. But there are a few differences with how you fight Jormungandr as Highlander than maybe fighting anyone else. Generally, you don't want to be super feinting everything with Highlander. You just want to be, like doing like raw caber tosses, shit like that. You don't want to be feinting a load of stuff because that means that there's more opportunities for the Jorm to interrupt you, and you don't want that. You want it to be your turn as long as possible. So once work on trying to get into offense stance whilst fighting a Jorm, and then once you're in it, try your best to not come out of it. So throw raw caber tosses to catch out them doing lights, or throw raw kicks, shit like that, and you'll probably catch them off pretty easily. So here we have one of my favourite mirror matches in the game, the Jormungandr mirror, and I already know, even through playing this game, the character for like maybe a few days, I already know this is going to be a hilariously fucking fun matchup. So the one tip that I have for the Jorm mirror is basically that little 50 damage punish right there. Yeah, little. It leaves you at negative frames. So you get that big 50 damage, then you have to kind of predict what the opponent's going to do because you're negative. If you try and throw out a light, you're going to get interrupted because the opponent getting up is faster than you recovering from the attack. Just so keep that in mind. And if you get hit by that, remember, it's your turn to do shit. Okay, so, Warlord. You throw heavies, I think. I don't know. You can't all guard between the lights. The hyper armor comes out extremely late, so it's hard to kind of hyper armor through Jorm's attacks. Your lights aren't enhanced. Jorm has no dodge attacks, so there's no reason for a Jorm to dodge in the neutral and get hit by your zone. You do about the same damage as him, but you have nowhere near the same tier as him. Don't play this character, just don't. From one bad matchup to the next, we have Valkyrie. Now, not a lot of what Valkyrie does really works versus Jorm, just for the plain reason that her lights aren't fucking enhanced. The only thing she can really reliably do is not feint a heavy, and then go for something afterwards. There's really not much you can do. Sure, right? You have a dodge attack, so you can dodge out of the way of the punch. You can all guard away from the punch, I do believe. I can't remember if I tested that on this or not. But you can't really leg sweep, because if the Jorm lands a fucking light on you, then that's a mix-up again, right? Not a whole lot you can really do as Valkyrie. I wouldn't say she's terrible, because if you can play Valkyrie really well in the first place, you've probably got a decent chance at fighting Jorm. But, just Valkyrie's just not, in general, a very good character, and so obviously struggles in this matchup. It's just naturally one that she loses. She can kind of turtle in her all guard a little bit, but as soon as, the opponent is conditioned, then really they're just going to be doing neutral shit. They're going to be doing that neutral majigamabob, and it's not going to be a fun sim for you. So I think my advice for fighting Jorm as Valkyrie is throw heavies in the neutral, dodge attack, try... Oh yeah, she has a deflect, doesn't she? Okay, well she might be okay then. You can kind of try and play the counter game, but if the Jorm doesn't play hyper-aggressive, then you're a bit fucked. So go for them deflects, go for them dodge attacks. General kind of Valkyrie shit, and you'll eventually win, I suppose. I don't know, man. Poor Valkyrie's just been completely fucked since this game was fucking right. Ever since she was released, Valkyrie's always been like really tough. Like she's never been a good or even particularly bad character. She's just always been really kind of mid-tier and a bit weird. She has her own way of doing things. I don't know, man. Like, I don't see it, but try it if you're a Valkyrie main. Tell me how the matchup is for you. Big boy Charmin. Now, Charmin is Charmin. You really don't have very many different things you can do versus Jorm. I tried this kind of like zone on wake up thing to see if it would work. Kinda didn't. So, right. Charmin, again, has a deflect and has a dodge attack, so you can use that, I suppose, right? If you can land it well, then you can land it well, right? That's about it. Like, I mean, people have been saying, like, Charmin is a noob killer, right? She definitely is. So, if you're fighting a relatively new Jorm, then you're probably fine. If you're fighting anyone with, like, decent Charmin experience, then you're probably going to be a bit fucked. That's really it. Charmin doesn't do particularly well or bad versus Jorm, because she has a few tools that she can use, such as a dodge attack. She has, again, a deflect, and it's very, very useful. That's it, though. She doesn't really do a whole lot of anything else, so I can't really comment too much. I rambled a bit on the Valkyrie because I was like, she does things, and I don't really know what, because I don't play too much Valkyrie. I don't really play too much Charmin either. I'm not acquainted with the character enough, but yeah, no, she doesn't really do a whole lot versus Jorm, but she's also not a bad pick. She's probably the most, like, average pick in the game alongside Valkyrie. She's not good, not bad, but, you know, if you main Charmin and the opponent doesn't main Jorm, you're probably at some sort of advantage, so there you go. Up next on the chopping block is Kensei, another character with a dodge attack and a deflect. Yeah, another one. But this one has a very recently buffed kit. He has faster sidelights now. So that's something, I suppose. So, Kensei, really not a bad character, I think. I mean, in general, he's apparently classed as one of the most balanced characters in the game. I don't know if I'd go that far as to say that, but, like, definitely not a fucking bad character. I'll give you that much. So I think if you play Kensei well, then you can probably fight Jorm really well. Kind of same with Valkyrie and Charmin. You know, like, if you're a Kensei main and the enemy isn't a Jorm main, you probably got this in the fucking bag. It's more like mechanical skill based than matchup knowledge based, because there's not really a whole lot to this matchup. It's just kind of play the game right, I suppose. So yeah, just play well. That's my advice for Kensei. So you want to play a Rocchi after he got faster. Why? Why are you fucking doing this? I don't know, maybe you're fucking evil. Actually, no, you are evil. You main a Rocchi. What the fuck is wrong with you? So, you're gonna see me get really fucked by this AI, because I wanted to go for the deflects, but every time I read a direction, he always did it a fucking different direction to where I think he was gonna go. So I ended up just kept doing it like to the left until eventually the Jorm attacked to the fucking left. So a Rocchi is basically just a better version of Charmin or Valkyrie. You've got your double lights from the top, which are now faster. You've got dodge attacks, deflects. You have that one weird other dodge attack, what's it, like that dodge back light thing, which is really strong, because you can dodge out, right, don't take my word for it, but I do believe you can dodge out of the way of the follow-up light and the punch, but I don't know about that. If that is the case, then that is busted, please fix. But also the... I don't know what it's called, it's like lightning stance or some shit. That dodge back in heavy, that's a deflect, but dodge back in heavy, that's pretty good as well, as it is, because it's just a fast move. So yeah, Rocchi, again, not fucking mad. He's not the strongest character versus Jorm. There's not, I couldn't really tell you who the strongest character versus Jorm is, but like, versus Jorm, if you want a very strong character that's not very hard to play, Rocchi is definitely for you. That's all I can really say, because it's fucking Rocchi. So, now on to quite possibly one of the most like controversially balanced characters this entire patch, which is Shinobi. No big thing happened to him, really, other than, oh, he no longer has, like, any armor ever. So, without this armor, he's actually a lot harder to use versus Jorm. Even harder than he already fucking was to fight anyone without just sliding everywhere. I don't really know too much about Shinobi. I don't play Shinobi very often. I don't really know what you do with him, like, as a character. But with Shinobi, the only thing I can really suggest is don't zone often, and keep your distance if you're on low health, which is relatively easy, but with the recent changes, it's going to be a lot harder for Shinobi to really do his thing versus Jorm. Inadanio! The only character in the game that can fight the World Serpent's hyper armor is the character that was released before him. Yep, Jormungandr's really insane, like, 2 frames and it's armored now. Heavy attacks are really only beaten by Hitakiri's 1 frame and it's armored now fucking heavy attacks. So with Hitakiri, basically you do what you do versus everyone else. You just try and trade with your heavies, trade with your lights. Remember that your lights have hyper armor, so you just kind of fucking press buttons and hope that the Jorm is also pressing buttons as you're also pressing the buttons. And be sure to fucking guard break chain as often as possible. All that shit. Yeah, Hitakiri's pretty fucking good versus Jorm, honestly. And, you know, if you can't fight Jorm as Hitakiri, you're probably just bad. Oh boy, can't wait to play my favourite man, Goki. So, every time you hard read a punch, just don't even go for a light, it's not worth it. Go for some form of, like, mix-up instead. Like, I know it's really easy to see coming, but just try and go for it anyway. Either the Jorm does a light into you and you win the trade, or the Jorm guesses right and wins their turn back. There's really not much you can do with Shigoki, but I presume Shigoki mains could probably make it work. Every time you dodge a punch, just do a mix-up, don't do a light. That's my only advice, really.